Part 54. Her Majesty the Queen has become a god in the entertainment industry. Author, Press 11. Chapter 531. Well, I'm going to help Sister Zheng Zheng make breakfast. Zhang Lingzi watched Fan Yao turn around and trot away, and then she sat cross-legged on the bed for a while holding the quilt, feeling relieved. Anyway, she is no longer the Zhang Yuanzhao whose every move must conform to imperial etiquette, but the Zhang Lingzi who can live completely for herself. It's okay if you behave a little wildly and willfully from time to time. After doing some mental preparation, she got up and washed up, then went to the restaurant and saw Fan Yao again. Zhang Lingzi could already wave to her lightly, and then sat down gracefully. Morning. Ah, morning, morning, Sister Zixi. On the contrary, Fan Yao was still a little unable to react, and he was stunned for 2 seconds before responding. I even thought about it for a moment. Sister Zixi is so elegant and intellectual. The figure rolling on the bed holding the quilt just now must be her illusion, right? 3 people sat around the dining table to have breakfast. Fan Yao ate quietly, with a bit of restraint in his movements. Lu Zhengzheng was already gossiping while eating. Sister Zixi, what time did you go to bed last night? When asked this question, Zhang Lingzi paused while biting her steamed dumplings and thought of the call time displayed on the chat interface between her and Shen Yunqing this morning, around 11:30. What's going on? Then you probably didn't see an update posted by Jing Huai at midnight. He said under his account that at 9 o'clock this morning, he would use his account to explode a huge melon. Do you think it would be possible? That's the one. Facing Fan Yao's curious eyes, Lu Zhengzheng paused. I said I was so used to it that I forgot that I already had a new colleague. Zhang Lingzi shook her head at her. It's okay, just say it. Fan Yao was the person she personally selected, and she was confident in her vision. Lu Zhengzheng smiled at Fan Yao and gave her another small steamed bun. After receiving a thank you, he continued, it's about him and Su Qingmei. I think this is the only one who can be considered a super big melon, but how dare he, that Su Qingmei. Zhang Lingzi lowered her eyes and counted the time. It has been 4 or 5 days since Jing Huai terminated his contract with the company, enough time for him to complete the separation from his previous job. After the cutting is completed, there is nothing to worry about anymore. He has withdrawn from the entertainment industry now. No matter how great Su Qingmei's influence is in the entertainment industry, it will not affect him who has already withdrawn from the entertainment industry. But if this matter is exposed personally, he will never come back to this industry again. Moreover, the leading actor of Degua is still himself. In order to reduce the impact, all the TV series and variety shows he filmed before will probably be replaced. Taking it off the shelves would be a huge loss. He himself should also be mentally prepared. But why does it have to be exposed? It won't do him any good. I almost couldn't sleep because I was thinking about this problem last night. It's probably because I cherish my life. Lu Zhengzheng had a question mark on his face. Zhang Lingzi glanced at the soy milk in front of her that she didn't drink much, and changed the subject. You are the slowest to eat, so eat quickly. Jing Huai stabbed Su Qingmei and witnessed Su Qingmei's weirdness and horror with his own eyes. This was not suitable to be told to these 2 innocent children in front of him. Fan Yao only listened with his ears erect throughout the whole process, so he naturally ate the fastest. Although she was curious about what Degua was, she saw that Sister Zixi and Sister Zhengzheng knew the inside story, but she still suppressed her curiosity and did not ask in detail. After putting down the chopsticks, I looked at the time on my phone. It was almost 8 o'clock, so I only had to wait for more than an hour. Zhang Lingzi can still have breakfast leisurely here, and other insiders and netizens who are curious about what a big melon is are also looking forward to it. However, the atmosphere in Su Qingmei's studio is not so good. Naturally, there was no breakfast. Even most of the people in the studio stayed up all night last night, including Su Qingmei herself, who didn't sleep all night. Plus, she was in an extremely bad mood. She looked so haggard that she looked like she had aged several years. What's the point of spending a lot of money every month to support you? No one can find it, and the account can't be blocked. What do you do for a living? You are experienced and a top student in information technology. Is this how you work? Do you still want to do it? Su Qingmei kicked a plastic stool away in anger, and one of the stool legs hit a girl in the stomach. The girl's face twisted in pain. She looked up at the woman who was regarded as a goddess by hundreds of millions of fans but now looked more like a crazy woman in reality. She gritted her teeth to prevent herself from screaming. Assistant Su Qingmei took a step forward despite the big guy's pleading look. Sister Su, I don't think what Jing Huai wants to say is that. Although he has withdrawn from the circle now, it is not good for him to say it. It's no good, no one would expose themselves. Su Qingmei slapped her back mercilessly. What do you know? Who do you think you are? Did I let you question me? What I want is to find Jing Huai's person, or have his account blocked for me. What nonsense are you talking about? Assistant Su Qingmei covered her burning and stinging face and quickly bowed and apologized. I'm sorry, Sister Su, I said the wrong thing. Others felt chilled when they saw it. Even the assistants who had been busy around them were slapped in front of them, let alone ordinary employees of the studio. Instead of thinking about how to fulfill Su Qingmei's request, they should also think about how to leave the studio. Following an artist who is getting crazier and crazier, they can no longer see their future. Everyone in the studio was racking their brains, but as the time got closer and closer to 9 o'clock, there was no progress at all. Someone is deliberately covering up Jing Huai's traces. The other party's information technology is higher than mine. I'm sorry, Sister Su, the other party must be impatient, and my computer crashed directly. Su Qingmei couldn't help but scratch her hair, and then reached out to get the water. She was horrified to find that a strand of dull and lusterless hair was wrapped around her fingers. She actually lost her hair. She is not yet 40. She stopped drinking water now. She took out her mobile phone with trembling hands and broadcast 3 numbers one after another. However, without exception, all of them were still turned off. Sir, Luan Hua and Luan Feng, what's wrong with you? When Assistant Su Qingmei came in from outside, she saw Su Qingmei had undressed her upper body and was looking down at her heart. She also looked over subconsciously, and when she saw the obvious wound clearly, her pupils suddenly shrank. Sister Su, are you injured? Su Qingmei touched the wound that reappeared on her heart. Before she had time to answer the assistant's words, her legs weakened and she collapsed to the ground. The injuries Jing Huai left her with were cured by adults. Obviously it was completely healed at that time, but now the wound appears again. And hair. The mirror was on the table, but Su Qingmei didn't dare to look at it for fear of seeing her old and haggard face. There is a guess that she doesn't want to think about but has to think about. With these abnormalities in her body, is something happened to the adults? Quickly, contact me Zhang Lingzi. I remember she was filming with Da and Kong Guyan some time ago. I want to find her. I have something to ask her. Assistant Su Qingmei. I couldn't help but pick my ears, suspecting that I was hearing hallucinations because of the slap just now. She now really doubts whether Su Qingmei has lost her mind and gone crazy. If you're injured and don't call a doctor quickly, what's the use of contacting Zhang Lingzi? It's better to let the doctor. Su Qingmei shouted directly, I asked you to find Zhang Lingzi, do you hear me? Her Majesty the Queen has become a god in the entertainment industry. Author, Press 11. Chapter 532. At 8:40 in the morning, Zhang Lingzi arrived at the company with Lu Zhengzheng and Fang Yao, and went directly into Tong Yu's office. Tong Yu took 3 cups of hot water and handed them over. She walked up to Zhang Lingzi and looked at them carefully. It looks like you've had a good rest these days. Fine. But maintenance still needs to be done, and the company will reimburse it anyway. I made an appointment at 10 o'clock today, and it takes almost 5 hours to complete the set. I can also eat there at noon, Tong Yu said with a wink. Let's go and watch what's going on later. Big melon. Lu Zhenzhen's eyes lit up. Sister Tong, you have also noticed it, and I was about to tell you. Can I not pay attention? Although Jing Huai quit the circle and lost a lot of fans, the base is still there. Many people are curious about why he quit the circle. Maybe it has something to do with Degua today. I predict that he will have a place in today's hot search list. Do you want to bet? Lu Zhenzhen waved her hands quickly. Sister Tong and I have the same prediction. Su Qingmei's side must be anxious and angry. If the big melon is really exposed this time, she will probably have no place in the domestic entertainment industry. If you do any unrighteousness, you will die. But she is so cold, adding Jing Huai to the list will also have some influence on you. Xiao 11. Painting and calligraphy handed down from generation to generation will probably be removed from the shelves, and Taiwan will not tolerate bad artists. Zhang Lingzi nodded towards her. I thought about it too. Just be mentally prepared, Tong Yu said, and couldn't help but sigh. The two of them really shouldn't have been invited to the show. Not to mention the crotch stretching, and now the show is being pulled because of them. Tong Yu's complaints were interrupted by the ringtone of her mobile phone. She glanced at the unfamiliar mobile phone number that was probably not a scam call, and dialed it. Hello. Hello, I am Assistant Su Qingmei. I am looking for teacher Zhang Lingzi. Is she here? Tong Yu's first reaction was to look at the caller number again. Daidu's account, the number is quite good, it should be a private account. Wait a minute, who do you think you are? Tong Yu asked and clicked on the speaker. Now the other party's voice was heard by all four people in the office. I am really Assistant Su Qingmei. Sister Su has something urgent to do with Teacher Zhang. It is a matter of life and death. Could you please give me Teacher Jiang's phone number? Tong Yu looked at Zhang Lingzi, who was still holding a cup and sipping water. What's going on? Zhang Lingzi put down the cup. I'm here. There was a buzzing sound on the other end, and then a hoarse voice came out. Zhang Lingzi, you and Chongyin were filming in Liangchuan before. Do you know how he is doing? Zhang Lingzi looked at Lu Zhengzheng and his eyes widened in a blink of an eye, and asked calmly, Kong Guyan is not an artist in your studio? Are you sure you want to ask me? He has not been heard from since he finished filming Empress Yuan Zhao. Then I don't know, after the filming was completed, he and his two assistants were the first to leave. The whole crew saw it. There was another buzzing sound on the other end, and then someone screamed in surprise, and the phone was suddenly hung up. The office was quiet for a moment. Lu Zhengzheng just spoke up. Isn't Su Qingmei's focus a little skewed? Shouldn't she be nervous about Jing Huai's exposure now? Why did she ask Sister 1111 for news about Chongyin? Zhang Lingzi shook her head slightly. She couldn't figure out what Su Qingmei was going to do for a while. However, it is certain that knowing the whereabouts of Chongyin is more important to Su Qingmei than the big melon that Jing Huai wants to expose. It will be 9 o'clock soon. Fang Yao gave a reminder, and several people came to their senses. Tong Yu directly turned on the projector in the office, used her mobile phone to project the screen, and took out a pack of melon seeds from the drawer. The other three people. You are still the expert in eating melons. 9 o'clock sharp. Thousands of people have gathered under the Jing Huai account. Someone couldn't help but urge him below his last post. It's 9 o'clock, where is the melon? You won't be late, I even set an alarm to remind you. Tong Yu swiped the phone she was using to cast the screen, and suddenly raised her eyebrows. Jing Huai just turned around. Then someone reminded me. Refresh quickly. Oh my god, it's such a big melon, it's related to Su Qingmei, I'm sure it's cooked. Go and see it quickly. There is a lot of content, I just read it in full, and I was forced to refresh my 3 views. I just want to say, your circle is really chaotic. Tong Yu quickly refreshed the page and said, oh, there are quite a lot of them. He should have written them himself. Then the 4 of them stopped talking. They even forgot to eat the melon seeds in their hands and were immersed in eating melons. Even if Zhang Lingzi and Lu Zhengzheng and Tong Yu knew about Jing Huai and Su Qingmei, they only knew about it and the details were not clear. Not to mention that there is Fang Yao who doesn't know anything about it. What has been exposed now is much more detailed. Text, pictures, audio, there is no shortage of them all. It took more than 10 minutes just to read the whole article. There were only a few scattered comments at the beginning, but after most people read the revelations, the comment area exploded. Shocked my whole family. I wanted to say that the person in this is definitely not Su Qingmei, but the audio just blew me away. 3 views have collapsed and are being reshaped. Jing Huai is really brave. Now I can understand his insistence on withdrawing from the circle. Su Qingmei is simply the shadow of his life. Although Jing Huai is indeed pitiful and is obviously an actor with a good future, he is the one who brought it upon himself, isn't he? Anyway, just take care of yourself. Note, closed. Latest news, Su Qingmei seemed to be out of breath and was taken to the hospital. With pictures. I would like to say that he deserves it. Regarding Su Qingmei's words in the exposed audio, I dare say that Jing Huai is not the only one who has been persecuted by her over the years. It's just that Jing Huai tried his best to withdraw from the circle and was exposed. Tong Yu clicked on the picture. You can tell at a glance that it was a candid shot. The background is Su Qingmei's studio. The person is on a stretcher, and the pale face exposed is completely different from the previous glamorous image. Her condition is really bad. She looks like she has aged several years. Is she really dizzy? When Tong Yu was about to cross out the photo, Zhang Lingzi stopped her and said, Sister Tong, please enlarge the picture. Tong Yu removed her finger that was about to point the cross and clicked to enlarge. Zhang Lingzi, chest. With this zoom in, some details become apparent. For example, Su Qingmei's hand covered her heart, and the assistant next to her was also helping to cover that side, but there was still a little bit of red showing through the light-colored clothes. The melon seeds in Lu Zhengzheng's mouth fell to the ground. Here, is there blood on these clothes? She was assassinated, not fainted? How much hatred is there? Zhang Lingzi and Tong Yu looked at each other. Just before Degua was exposed, Assistant Su Qingmei called. Although Su Qingmei's voice was urgent, it didn't look like she was suddenly injured. Sister Tong, when Assistant Su Qingmei called just now, did she say that human life is at stake? I seem to have said that. So, Su Qingmei was already injured when they called. Tong Yu felt that the logic didn't make sense. As soon as she finished the analysis, then they should call the emergency number. Why do you come here to ask you about Chongyin's current situation? Zhang Lingzi looked at the blood on the picture and said, there's something wrong with Su Qingmei's injury. As for why you want to find Yin Chong? Unless, only Yin Chong can treat her injury. But even if Yin Chong did not die in the ancient tomb, he would probably not be able to protect himself now. Su Qingmei is destined to wait for the person who saves her. The outcome has been decided. Zhang Lingzi lost interest in continuing to pay attention. Let's go, let's go. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Her Majesty the Queen has become a god in the entertainment industry. Author, Press 11. Chapter 533. The situation was urgent. The person who came to take Su Qingmei away this time was not a high-end private hospital that respected privacy to the extreme, but a nearby public hospital. Medical staff are also online, and there are even fans of Su Qingmei among them. While taking a break, I came across such a big melon that has shocked countless people. Soon, they even saw the protagonist of Digwa. If they meet the real owner before eating melon, they will not only be excited, but they will go there to get an autograph and take a photo or something. But now, my mood is particularly complicated. Even when I saw the pale and haggard face on the hospital bed, the first sentence that came to my mind was, "Those who do many unjust deeds will be killed." However, no matter how much they hate and despise what the other person has done, when the other person becomes a patient or injured person they want to save, the only thing they have to do is to abandon all personal negative emotions and save people. How is the patient? Although it is speculated on the internet that Su Qingmei was fainted by her own that was exposed on the internet, it is only a speculation. It is still necessary to ask people around the patient to learn more about the situation at that time. Assistant Su Qingmei watched Su Qingmei being taken over by the medical staff. She just breathed a sigh of relief when she was asked about this. She suddenly seemed to have thought of something terrible, her lips turned pale. "Injury, Sister Su has a wound on her heart, it seems to be a knife wound, but it wasn't there before, it wasn't there when I saw her changing clothes in the morning. The injury, it was like it had grown on its own." The doctors and nurses who were listening patiently on the side couldn't help but look at each other when they heard this. "Don't believe it, look at her heart and there are still a few drops of blood. This is her own blood, not mine." Before she could finish speaking, an exclamation interrupted her. "The patient's heart is really injured, like a knife wound. The incision is not big, it should be a knife like a fruit knife, but is it bleeding a little? Phew. No matter how small the incision is, if it is pierced at the heart, it is impossible for it to shed only a few drops of blood. Debridement and treat the wound first." "Doctor, doctor, I'm not talking nonsense just now. Check again. Sister Sue's wound is really abnormal. Sister Sue encountered something before. Not to mention keeping a fruit knife around her, even the eyebrow trimming knife should be kept away from her. There is no way she was stabbed with a fruit knife." As soon as these words were said, a young nurse couldn't hold it back and sneered, "Maybe it's a ploy, and I haven't been able to be cruel yet." In fact, other people also guessed the same when they saw the wound, but there is no need to say it out. New employees are still a little impulsive. "Okay, Xiaogao, shut up. Anyone who has nothing to do with you, please leave and don't disturb our work." But after a while, several medical staff who were cleaning the wounds were dumbfounded. Who would have thought that this small wound could hide more serious injuries, and the patient even showed signs of cardiopulmonary failure. "Hurry, push to the emergency room for first aid." The well-informed paparazzi sneaked into the hospital and took a photo of Su Qingmei being pushed into the emergency room, which was immediately posted online. With the text "Surprise, Su Qingmei implemented a cruel trick and improperly executed it and sent herself to the emergency room." With the hot topic of Su Qingmei and the explosive title, it quickly received a large number of clicks. Zhang Lingzi was lying on the beauty bed and enjoying the exquisite service of the beautician. She had just put a mask on her face and couldn't open her eyes. Lu Zhengzheng read this title to her while sitting next to her. Tong Yu walked in from the outside and happened to hear this explosive headline. She was immediately surprised. Can Su Qingmei really do this? How stupid and cruel is this? She actually stabbed herself in the heart. What if she accidentally killed herself? What to do if it's stabbed to death? If you want to do the trick, you can stab it in other places. Lu Zhengzheng looked down at his heart and imagined piercing it with a knife. He couldn't help but shudder. "My scalp goes numb just thinking about it." Before her mouth was wrapped, "Zhang Lingzi," he whispered, "this is just paparazzi's speculation. Su Qingmei doesn't seem like someone who can pull off such a cruel trick. She's already in the emergency room, so the injury on her heart shouldn't be fake. The doctors at the public hospital won't act with her. How could the injury be caused? Ms. Zhang, I'm going to use the last piece of gauze for you. Please don't open your mouth yet." Zhang Lingzi hummed slightly, raised her hand and waved in Tong Yu's direction. Then Tong Yu and Lu Zhengzheng discussed this matter while eating the fruit snacks provided by the beauty club. Fang Yao occasionally said a few sentences. Zhang Lingzi lay motionless on the beauty bed and listened. As she listened, she fell asleep. It wasn't until I noticed a strange smell approaching that I suddenly woke up. Sister Zixi, you're awake. Lu Zhengzheng noticed that Zhang Lingzi had woken up and her originally low voice became louder again. There is new progress on Su Qingmei's side. Sister Zixi, look. After the mask on her face was cleaned off, Zhang Lingzi opened her eyes and saw the mobile phone in front of her. The angle of the candid shot is not very good, and you can only see the profile of Su Qingmei lying quietly on the hospital bed in the not-so-spacious single ward. Hand an intravenous drip, and there's an ECG monitor next to it. But what is even more shocking is the strand of gray hair that emerges from under the snow-white quilt. We just talked about how serious Su Qingmei's condition was when she entered the emergency room. I didn't expect it to be so serious. Even an ECG monitor was used. And her hair is also very strange. It was still black in the previous photo. You looking at the photo now, the changes are so big, it's a bit scary. Lu Zhengzheng finished speaking and calmed down. Now because of this photo, there is a lot less criticism of her on the internet. After all, if a person is healthy and does something morally corrupt, then no amount of scolding can be exaggerated. But now that people are about to die, it is more or less impossible to curse. After hearing what she said, Zhang Lingzi glanced around the room. Where's Sister Tong? Lu Zhengzheng glanced towards the door and lowered his voice. Sister Zixi, I was just about to tell you that the police are here. As soon as he finished speaking, the door of the room was pushed open from the outside, and Tong Yu walked in with two policemen, a man and a woman. He met several pairs of eyes in the room who were looking over at him. Hurry to explain. Su Qingmei's assistant felt that someone was harming Su Qingmei, so she called the police. Didn't they call us before? These two police officers are here to understand the situation. Don't be nervous. The two police officers also nodded. It's routine, it's routine. Kong Guyan, are you? The policewoman wrote down her name, looked at her companions and stood up. If you guys are working hard to cooperate with us, we won't disturb you. Tong Yu saw the police off and came back. Fortunately, we are outside. This club is very reliable in protecting guests' privacy. If they came to the company to question us, the paparazzi would be stalking us again. And that person from Chongyin, her Su Qingmei actually came to ask you if you have any news. Is she really missing? Who knows? Her Majesty the Queen has become a god in the entertainment industry. Author, Press 11. Chapter 534. As the initiator of Degua's exposure, Jing Huai is naturally paying close attention to online trends. He will be at Luye's Research Institute now. A lot of blood was drawn when he was considered a research subject. Now Su Qingmei's people are looking for him everywhere and have his account hacked. In return for contributing so much blood, he can stay in the research institute and avoid the search of those people. And protect your account. He had spent so much effort before, even to compensate for the liquidated damages, and now he was almost broke. His many years of hard work in the entertainment industry were in vain. All of this was due to Su Qingmei and her own greed. He himself has learned a lesson, but before leaving the imperial capital, he should see Su Qingmei's reputation ruined. Originally saw the news that Su Qingmei was sent to the hospital on the internet, and the first thing he thought of was Su Qingmei's cruel trick. But as time passed, after seeing the paparazzi posting on the internet that Su Qingmei had been rescued, put on an ECG monitor, and had changes in her hair, especially when she learned the location of Su Qingmei's wound, Jing Huai couldn't sit still. If he remembered correctly, the location of Su Qingmei's wound was the same place where he had stabbed it with a fruit knife. Could this be a coincidence? But it has been more than a month since that incident. After such a long time, the wound should have healed long ago. Su Qingmei can't just stab herself in the same position just for a bitter plot. Based on his understanding of that woman, this was absolutely impossible. But the wound is real. Lu Ye came in from the outside and saw Jing Huai looking like he was out of his mind. Why, the effect didn't meet your expectations. No, Jing Huai came back to his senses and shook his head at Lu Ye, who was sitting opposite. I just think it's weird. Oh, come and listen. After Jing Huai explained the strange situation, Lu Ye took out his mobile phone and rarely paid attention to the hot topics in the entertainment industry. The wounds that were supposed to have healed reappeared, and the hair turned from black to gray in a few hours. The former may have been punctured in the same part with a sharp weapon, and the latter seems to be acute aging. But you said that Su Qingmei's character cannot commit suicide. Then her current situation is indeed a bit strange. After Lu Ye finished his analysis, he looked up and saw Jing Huai standing up, looking like he was about to go out. What are you going to do? I want to sneak over to Su Qingmei's place to have a look. The public hospitals are not so tightly guarded, so I should be able to sneak in. Lu Ye was actually quite curious about Su Qingmei's current situation. He mainly wanted to study what was going on with this person. But seeing how reckless Jing Huai was, he reached out and caught him. Don't cause trouble for me. You knew there was something weird about Su Qingmei, but you still ran over there, fearing that nothing would happen? Just stay in the room. Lu Ye locked Jing Huai in the room. On the way back to his office, he met his researcher who came to report hurriedly, "Boss, I just monitored the active substances you cultivated and they are all dead." What did you say? After seeing the data indicating that all activity had disappeared, Lu Ye took a deep breath, picked up his phone, and dialed the number at the top of the contact list. Old Shen, something happened. Zhang Lingzi crossed out several maintenance items that Tong Yu arranged for her. Meeting Tong Yu's disapproving eyes, I can bear to have someone rub this and that on my body for more than 2 hours. That's the limit. You really don't want to try the rest. Zhang Lingzi shook her head firmly and pointed at her face. As you can see, these things do have some effect, but the effect is not great for me. Who makes you young? Young people have good looks. Tong Yu had to compromise. Okay, if you don't do it, you won't do it? It's not even 1 o'clock yet, let's go out for a meal? Your account is already covered with grass. I just happened to take some photos for your account. Zhang Lingzi was very happy to eat. Just as she was about to nod, her phone suddenly vibrated. Yunqing. There are some abnormalities on Lu Ye's side, and I suspect it has something to do with Su Qingmei. Where are you now? I'll pick you up and we'll go have a look together. Since this matter was more interesting than eating, Zhang Lingzi immediately told her her current address. Okay, wait for me for a quarter of an hour. Hang up the phone. Zhang Lingzi looked at the 3 eyes in front of her, eagerly waiting for her to book a restaurant. I have something to go with Yunqing later. Lu Zhengzheng immediately burst into laughter. Did my dinner just fly away like that? Zhang Lingzi, you 3 go and eat, I'll treat you. Long live Sister Zixi. Zhang Lingzi, this long live comes so easily. A quarter of an hour passed. Zhang Lingzi saw Shen Yunqing's car approaching and waved to the 3 people waiting with her. When the car stopped and the door opened, she got in the car. After sitting down, he looked at Shen Yunqing on the side. Going to Lu Ye's research institute? Yes. Lu Ye called me just now and said that all the active substances he extracted from Jing Huai's blood were inactive in a short period of time. He also took Jing Huai's blood to confirm that all the remaining substances in his body were also inactive. The substances all came from Su Qingmei, and Su Qingmei was suddenly injured and hospitalized. He suspected that there should be some connection. Su Qingmei's assistant also called the police. Call the police. She suspected that someone wanted to harm Su Qingmei, and she even came to me before Su Qingmei was sent to the hospital. She asked me about Yin Chang's whereabouts. I guess Su Qingmei knows something, but she is still in a coma and can't stop her. The actions of my own assistant. Since she came to you to ask about Yin Chang's whereabouts, the injuries that reappeared on her body are most likely related to Yin Chang. I remember that Jing Huai stabbed Su Qingmei, and the next day Yin Chang asked for leave to return to the imperial capital, and Su Qingmei recovered quickly. It's normal. Her injuries were cured by Yin Chang at that time, so now. The two of them looked at each other and almost said in unison, "There's something wrong with Yin Chang." Asterisk. Chang Kangman. Yin Chang looked at the life goo that had completely lost its life in the palm of his hand. He coughed and raised his head to look at Luan Feng, who limped in. Sect Master is still in retreat. Yes, I was stopped before I even got close. Yin Chang suppressed his annoyance and comforted Luan Feng while also comforting himself. We suffered heavy losses in this operation. The sect master was still on the lower level at the time and was seriously injured. The retreat time will naturally be longer. It's a pity. Luan Feng had a trace of anger on his face. Now not only are Wuja guarding there, but even the official people have noticed the anomaly and sent out an exploration team. We don't have to think about Tai Sui at all. And your fate, Gu. Yin Chang spread his palms towards him. Luan Feng's eyes suddenly widened. Dead, dead. Something must have happened to Su Qingmei. I can hardly feel her luck now. Then you used life goo to treat her injuries before. A sneer appeared at the corner of Yin Chang's lips. What does a useless person have to do with me after he dies? It's a pity that the luck he has cultivated over the years has been wiped out in one move. Go and find out what's going on with her. What happened? Her Majesty the Queen has become a god in the entertainment industry. Author, Press 11. Chapter 535. Jing Huai saw Zhang Lingzi and Shen Yunqing walking side by side. He held his breath for 3 seconds before standing up to greet them. After nearly 3 meters, he stopped again and said hello first, Miss Zhang, Mr. Shen. Zhang Lingzi had just met Lu Ye, who had followed them to pick them up. When he saw Jing Huai, he said, Assistant Su Qingmei has called the police. Jing Huai was stunned for a moment, and broke into a cold sweat when he came to his senses. If Lu Ye hadn't stopped him before, he would have been on his way to Su Qingmei's ward by now. If he is accidentally discovered by the police during this period, he will definitely be arrested as a suspect. No, wait, will the police come to see me next? Su Qingmei was hospitalized after he exposed Digua. Now Su Qingmei's assistant has chosen to call the police. How can he, the initiator of Digua's exposure, not be questioned? What if the wound on Su Qingmei's heart was really caused by him? When he stabbed Su Qingmei with the fruit knife and ran away in a hurry, the evidence of the crime was still on Su Qingmei. Will the police find the fruit? Zhang Lingzi looked at Jing Huai, who was so frightened that he was sweating at the scene he imagined. He was a little blind, but still reminded, it's very possible. After all, he was admitted to the hospital after you exposed those things, and, according to the things you exposed and Su Qingmei humiliated you so much, you have sufficient motive to commit the crime. Jing Huai was originally panicked, but after hearing this, his face turned red. Me, I used to only want to be famous and be on the front line, but I got carried away. Now is not the time to reflect on this, Zhang Lingzi interrupted coldly. Now you should think about how to deal with it if the police really come. You have a sufficient alibi. Su Qingmei was also injured this time. You have nothing to do with it, but just by looking like you now, the police can tell at a glance that there is something wrong with you. Jing Huai wiped his face and lowered his head in shame. Su Qingmei is too weird. I don't want to be scared, but I just can't control it. If I had known that such a big accident would happen if this matter was exposed, What if, Zhang Lingzi said, and couldn't help turning her head to look at Shen Yunqing, who was sitting quietly next to her. How about you make a cameo first? They also discovered that there was a flaw in their side, Jing Huai, on the way here. No one expected that Assistant Su Qingmei would choose to call the police, but since the police have been called, the police will solve the case in accordance with regulations. Even she, let alone Jing Huai, was called by the police for questioning because of a phone call from Su Qingmei. This man is more suspicious than anyone else in the eyes of the police. It is basically a yes to come over and ask. But now looking at this man who was so flustered that he didn't know what to do before he saw the police, Zhang Lingzi was really worried that Jing Huai had accidentally revealed something that he shouldn't have disclosed. If it is discovered that she is inextricably related to this matter, then she will also be focused on by the police. This is not the attention she wants. At this time, it is time for Shen Yunqing, the Minister of Criminal Affairs who has personally tried many cases, to take action. Shen Yunqing instantly understood what His Majesty wanted him to do. Jing Huai, who still doesn't understand what he is about to face. Zhang Lingzi, I haven't had time to have lunch yet. Ahem, Shen Yunqing stood up and walked towards Jing Huai, leave it to me. More than 10 minutes later. Zhang Lingzi and Shen Yunqing walked out of the room side by side as they had come. Jing Huai was left sitting there, sweating and his legs weak. He held onto the table to prevent it from sliding to the floor. Faced with Mr. Shen's imitation police questioning just now, he really thought he was going to see his deceased grandma. Is it so scary to be questioned by the police? Zhang Lingzi and Shen Yunqing were eating in the lounge next to Lu Ye's office. Having just finished eating, Shen Yunqing received a message from Lu Ye. The police have contacted Jing Huai, and he will be at the research institute in about 10 minutes. So the two people who finished eating did not rush to leave the lounge. Instead, they turned on the TV in Lu Ye's lounge and connected it to the surveillance camera in Jing Huai's room. After waiting for a while, Lu Ye led two policemen, a man and a woman, into Jing Huai's room on the screen. Zhang Lingzi saw the appearance of the two policemen clearly. These are the two people who asked me for questioning before. Jing Huai, who appeared in the surveillance video, seemed to have just taken a shower, and his hair was still wet when he came out to see the two policemen. Hello, two comrade police officers. The voice of greeting was a little nervous and shaky, but it was normal. It would be strange for ordinary people not to be nervous at all when seeing the police. The two policemen nodded. Let's come to Mr. Jing to ask a few questions. Mr. Jing doesn't need to be too nervous. It's just a routine inquiry. Okay, I know. Just as he was about to sit down, the male policeman glanced in the direction of the surveillance camera. Lu Ye quickly explained from the side, Mr. Jing is currently cooperating with me to do some research. This research is somewhat dangerous. To be on the safe side, the monitoring in his room is always on. Okay then. Now please ask Mr. Jing to answer my question. When and where did you last meet with Ms. Su Qingmei? Was there anyone else present at that time? The questioning lasted for nearly half an hour. Looking at the young man who was still a little nervous but acting more and more calm, the two policemen looked at each other and stood up. Okay, that's it for the questioning. Thank you Mr. Jing for your cooperation. But until the case is solved or Ms. Su before withdrawing the case, please ask Mr. Jing not to leave the imperial capital, as we may come to you for questioning at any time. Jing Huai hurriedly stood up and nodded, I will definitely cooperate. Two police comrades, please walk slowly. Thank you for your hard work. Jing Huai breathed a sigh of relief after seeing the police off. When he returned to the room, he saw Zhang Lingzi and Shen Yunqing, who he thought had left, waiting for him. The response was pretty good. Jing Huai suddenly felt blessed. Were you watching the surveillance just now? That's right, Zhang Lingzi nodded and admitted, we should take a look at the results of the temporary special training. Jing Huai. He was speechless for a moment and then looked at Shen Yunqing, who was standing next to Zhang Lingzi. The pressure those two policemen put on me was not as great as what Mr. Shen put on me. If the previous one was hit by thunder, then the one just received was gentle wind and drizzle. Comparing this, the police put more pressure on him just because of the uniform. In addition to the questions asked to him, 9 out of 10 were asked by Shen Yunqing during mock interviews. In this way, he was like a candidate who had been revealed the question and received hints on the answer in advance. He could not answer the question any more smoothly. I would like to ask, what did Mr. Shen do before? He is really curious now, how can this person be more professional than the police? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Her Majesty the Queen has become a god in the entertainment industry. Author, Press 11. Chapter 536. Chapter 536 The Legend of Allure changes heroine. Zhang Lingzi clicked on the link just sent by Lu Zhengzheng. The Legend of the Fallen City Crew V, in response to the requests of fans and considering the negative impact Su Qingmei has brought to the crew of The Legend of the Fallen City unanimously decided after consultation and discussion that the heroine's role will be refilmed with a different role. We also ask all book fans and friends who follow The Legend of Qing Qian to wait patiently. The reaction of the crew of The Legend of the Fallen City was also fast enough. The heroine was just revealed to be a loser in the morning, and she was replaced in the afternoon. I have guessed it a long time ago, Su Qingmei is going to be disappointed, and the drama Fang Tiao Yutai will also be disappointed if she doesn't change the cast. Why didn't you mention who would play the role instead? I guess it hasn't been decided yet. Even Su Qingmei is troubled by moral issues, so we must be more cautious in casting this time. Originally, The Legend of Allure was to compete with Empress Yuan Zhao, but now it's better the heroine's role is so important. It will take at least 2 months to prepare for the reshoot when Empress Yuan Zhao starts airing. The Legend of Allure you may not be able to finish filming, so how can you compete in the ring? It is said that the crew of Empress Yuan Zhao is already preparing to start promoting it. I guess a drama team is preparing to launch it in time for the Chinese New Year. The traffic is booming during the Chinese New Year, and this is a historical drama based on the first female emperor in history. It can be said that the audience includes all men, women, old, and young. Regarding the choice of the heroine, I was a little worried. It was Zhang Lingzi's first time playing such a heavy role. I could only choose to believe in director Wei's good vision. Looking at the stills and the outtakes that have been released so far, they are pretty good. Especially the fight scenes are all done by real people, which I quite admire. Wait a minute, did I enter the wrong comment area? This is the comment area for the crew of The Legend of the Fallen City, right? Why are we all talking about Empress Yuan Zhao and Zhang Lingzi? I got distracted while chatting. It is said that the role of Prime Minister Shen in Empress Yuan Zhao has not been revealed until now. Is Director Wei planning to continue the mystery to the end? Xiao 11, look at the link Zheng Zheng sent you. Director Wei just contacted me and asked if you have time tonight. He is planning to make a live broadcast, so he will take advantage of today's popularity to make one for your drama. Live broadcast promotion only takes about an hour, and you can just do it at home, and the creators will just chat in the live broadcast room. There's no problem with me. Then I'll go and reply to the director at that time. Would you like Zheng Zheng or Yao Yao to come over and help you read the questions sent by the audience? No need, I can do it myself. Well, if you have any questions then you can contact me in time. Zhang Lingzi hung up the phone and looked up to meet Shen Yunqing's gaze. I have work to do tonight. Originally, she had planned to visit Shen Yunqing's collection temporarily and have a meal on the way, but she had no plans to arrange other activities. But the plan did not change quickly. Are you going back at night? The director of TVB said that we will conduct a live broadcast to promote the new drama. Then you should just use your mobile phone. I also have a computer in my study. It's a long-term computer, and the configuration is okay. Zhang Lingzi couldn't help but raise the corners of her mouth. Okay, then let's keep your live broadcast. She is not very willing to take the car back to her place after dinner, okay. Asterisk. Zhang Ziya closed the comment area with a dark face. He looked up and saw Zhang Yuding looking at him with a troubled expression, and his heart suddenly thumped again. What's wrong, say it? Zhang Yuding handed over the work phone in her hand, read it for yourself, and don't drop the phone after reading it. Zhang Ziya felt bad when he saw that the contacts from the crew of The Legend of the Fallen City were displayed in the chat window. I had a premonition by seeing the message below that the other party just sent a few minutes ago. After discussion and decision by the drama team, the role of Jade Hart in The Legend of the Fallen City will be refilmed together with the heroine's role. I would like to thank Teacher Zhang for his efforts some time ago. The remuneration already paid will not be recovered. I also wish Teacher Zhang a bright future. The words are undoubtedly polite, but as long as you are not stupid, you can understand the meaning. After Su Qingmei was replaced, she was originally inserted into The Legend of the Allure by Su Qingmei, and she was also replaced along with it. The remuneration will not be recovered. She is considered a friendly star this time, so she doesn't get much remuneration at all. Zhang Yuding saw her look like a volcano was about to erupt, so she had the foresight to her phone back, and then tiptoed out. As soon as I closed the door, I heard a crisp sound inside. It was probably that the cup I had just used to drink water was dropped again. Oh, what's the matter with this? She really felt that Zhang Ziya was in bad luck this year. It was almost the end of the year, and not even a single TV series had been aired. If this continues, is there really any future? But when every family is sad, every family is happy. USI was nesting in her small apartment and preparing hot pot for dinner with her friend Su Miao. While chatting, they talked about Su Qingmei, who was exposed and had to change roles in The Legend of the City. Su Qingmei has screwed up the entire crew of The Legend of the Fallen this time. She is really a pervert. Fortunately, she took Zhang Ziya to squeeze you away, otherwise you would have been the one to face this female pervert during the filming. USI nodded in a funny way, so, it's a blessing in disguise. The paparazzi guarding the hospital revealed on the internet that Su Qingmei hasn't woken up yet. If she wakes up and finds out that she has been replaced, hey, I'm afraid she will faint from anger again. Su Miao put down her mobile phone, turned her head and looked at her friend's beautiful profile, and suddenly thought, I said, do you want to try out for the leading role? Now that the crew of The Legend of the Fallen City is looking for a starring role, they must conduct multiple investigations and be cautious, and strive to the next heroine must be clean in all aspects. They can't afford another heroine who will be exposed in negative news. It's not controversial for you to be serious about filming when you debut. Conform to me. The suggestion of self-recommendation as a heroine made Yusi's heart flutter for a moment, but she quickly put her heart back. I'm not well known, and I'm an individual actor who doesn't have much publicity. For such a big production as The Legend of the Fallen City, even if the heroine is replaced, I probably won't be taken into consideration. As soon as she finished speaking, the mobile phone on the table rang. Whose call is it? I'm putting beef on the table. Please answer it for me. Su Miao glanced at the caller, dialed the number amidst the slurping sound of hot pot, turned on the speakerphone, and cleared her throat. Hello. Hello, is this Teacher USI? I am the deputy director of the production team of The Legend of the Fallen City. I wonder if Teacher U still remembers it? Our production team would like to invite Teacher U to join the cast to play the role of Jade Hart. The remuneration is easy to negotiate. I just don't know if Teacher U has time. USI paused in the act of picking up the beef, and Su Miao simply turned off the buzzing induction cooker, frantically hinting, continue, continue. USI came to her senses and asked calmly, have you decided who will play the heroine you want to change? This is still under discussion. If Teacher U has someone to recommend, we will seriously consider it. Well, actually I have a bold idea. The crew mercilessly replaced her at that time, but now they are thinking of her again. I always feel a little unhappy. Besides, who can live without ambition? End of this chapter. Her Majesty the Queen has become a god in the entertainment industry. Author, Press 11. Chapter 537. I have time, okay, thank you, Director Wei. After hanging up the phone, Pei Xinyuan couldn't help but jump around the room twice to vent his excitement. It wasn't until I heard the door opening outside that I calmed down a little, opened the door and walked out. Jiao Jiao, you are back. Han Jiao put the suitcase in her hand in the corner and pointed to the bathroom with a slight hum. I'm going to take a shower first. Pei Xinyuan was stunned for a moment. The water in the water heater doesn't seem to be very hot yet. Do you want to boil it again? I've already cooked the rice and stewed the yam and pork ribs. Why don't you wash it after you finish the meal? It's okay, I'll just rush in, I'll be fine soon. Pei Xinyuan watched her friend enter the door and turned around to enter the bathroom. She subconsciously followed him to the bathroom door. He didn't frown and leave until he heard the sound of running water inside. Just now she wanted to hug her friend and share her joy, but Han Jiao dodged her. And just getting close, she could smell the smell of cigarette and alcohol on Han Jiao. That is definitely not the smell that comes from just smoking a cigarette or drinking a glass of wine. Suppressing her worries and waiting for the sound of water in the bathroom to disappear temporarily, she quickly seized the opportunity and shouted, Jiao, let me serve the rice first. You should wash up quickly to avoid catching a cold. Just bring me a small bowl of rice, I'm a bit unappetizing after riding in the car for a day. Okay. By the time Pei Xinyuan finished serving the rice, Han Jiao came out of the bathroom, wiping her dripping hair and smelling of perfume and shower gel. The smell of tobacco and alcohol had been washed away from her body. Go back home quickly, change your clothes, and go out to eat. You eat first. Han Jiao changed into home clothes and came out, and saw Pei Xinyuan sitting at the dining table waiting for her. Didn't I let you eat first? Is there any happy event today? I just walked in and saw how happy you were. Pei Xinyuan covered her face and said, is it so obvious? But it is indeed a good thing. Before you came in, I just received a call from the TV director. He asked me to prepare for tonight's live broadcast. All the live broadcasts are starring Teacher Zhang Lingzi and Teacher Wei Minmin. I didn't expect Director Wei to specially reserve a spot for me. Do you think I should put on makeup and change clothes during the live broadcast, or should I stay home more naturally? Han Jiao only felt that the fragrant rice in her mouth was a little bitter, and the smile at the corner of her mouth also faded. I don't think it's necessary to be too deliberate. Just put on light makeup and wear it naturally. Anyway, there are Zhang Lingzi and Wei Minmin. There are big bosses here, and the live broadcast connection must be dominated by them. If you are too deliberate, it will be a bit of a show-off. Pei Xinyuan listened and said to the head of the store, I think so too. We both want to go together. She just didn't know if it was her imagination, but she always felt that there was something wrong with her friend's tone. Hey, just tell me, how is your crew doing? It should be finished soon, right? Han Jiao watched the spare ribs that were about to be put in her mouth fall back into her rice bowl. She lowered her eyes so that it was difficult to see the expression in her eyes. It's very good. It will be completed by the end of this month. Maybe it can be broadcast during the Chinese New Year, when the traffic is high. It's a good time. Han Jiao tugged at her lips, I hope so. After dinner, Pei Xinyuan saw that Han Jiao was about to clear away the dishes, and quickly held her hand down. I see you have dark circles under your eyes. You must have been filming all night. Go and rest quickly, I will clean up. Han Jiao didn't insist. She really couldn't get excited at this moment. Especially when I think about my current situation and look at my friend's prosperous and bright future, Even though I know I shouldn't be jealous, my mood is still a little complicated. Pei Xinyuan tidied up the kitchen, went out to tidy up the already clean and tidy living room, and then went back to her small bedroom to put on makeup and change clothes. When it was almost time for the live broadcast, he went out and knocked on the door of Han Jiao's room. Jiao, I'm going to live broadcast. It's in the living room. I originally thought about it in the bedroom, but the bedroom is small and there are many little private things for girls. At this stage, netizens are all very eye-catching, and she is afraid that she will accidentally let some small private things into the mirror. After much deliberation, I decided to switch to a more spacious living room. I know, you can broadcast it? Well, I'll try to keep my voice down. Asterisk. As early as an hour ago, the largest live broadcast platform on the internet released a preview on the top of its homepage. The director of Empress Yuan Zhao and the main creators will be guests in the live broadcast room at 8 o'clock in the evening. See you there. This time is exactly the peak period of live broadcast traffic. People who have finished their work or study for the day and have just finished dinner are too lazy to move, so they want to spread out on the sofa or bed and watch live video novels and the like to pass the time. As long as those who have watched the live broadcast preview, 9 out of 10 have clicked follow in advance. We are used to watching the live broadcasts of major internet celebrities and the influx of new anchors every day. Celebrity live broadcasts are not available every day. What's more, the whole crew is together. Maybe we can also see the actor who plays Prime Minister Shen, who has not been named yet. The live broadcast hasn't even started yet, but there are a lot of comments and petitions coming in from the comment area that has been opened in advance. Why didn't you even say who will be doing the live broadcast? I just want to know if this drama can be broadcast during the Chinese New Year. Since the remake of The Legend of the Fallen was announced during the daytime, the only TV series I'm looking forward to most this year is Empress Yuan Zhao. It's hard to find time to watch TV during the New Year, but I really don't want to be short of dramas. +1. This live broadcast blindly guesses that a female lead and a female lead will definitely appear, but it's hard to say who will play Prime Minister Shen. This person is too mysterious. It is unlikely that the third female lead will show up. According to rumors, there seems to be something wrong with Queen Shi's face, and she has been undergoing treatment for this period of time. No wonder Queen Shi disappeared not long after her comeback. There was something wrong with her face. Could it be that her face was disfigured? Am I the only one who is looking forward to the role of the little princess? According to the information, he should be a newcomer. Looking at the behind the scenes, his acting skills are a bit green, but he is quite smart. I can look forward to the future of my little sister. How come it's not even 8 o'clock yet? The second time it felt like it took so long. The first time? While working during the day. Finally waited until 8 o'clock, and countless hands eagerly clicked into the live broadcast room at almost the same time. The first thing I saw was a very serious-looking face, taken with a slap in the face, and a cabinet full of trophies in the background. The audience who poured into the live broadcast room were all stunned for a moment. Health Director. Hello Director Wei. I admire this cabinet full of honors. Is Director Wei still studying the live broadcast room? I remember my first live broadcast was like this, my face almost touched the screen. Director of the satellite system, please put your phone further away. Director Wei, can you show me the trophies on the cabinet at the back? I like these beautiful and shiny things. Fortunately, soon, the first split screen on the left side of the screen in the live broadcast room also lit up. Wei Minmin, who was wearing furry home clothes, waved to the camera and said hello, and then reminded her with a look of disgust. I said, Wei Director, please put your phone away, I can see your big nostrils. Wei Xiao. I can't have this eldest niece who likes to make trouble. Haha, Minmin can just call Director Wei directly, everyone knows your relationship. As soon as I moved the screen away, my eldest niece's second instruction came. Hurry up and bring Sister 11 in. I haven't talked to Sister 11 for several days. Wei Xiao. Minmin always leaned towards Zixi when I saw the behind the scenes before, but I didn't expect that it would be more blatant in reality. The tools of the health director's live broadcast room are really hammered, haha. Her Majesty the Queen has become a god in the entertainment industry. Author, Press 11. Chapter 538. Zhang Lingzi had just finished researching how to register an account and enter the live broadcast room. When she received Wei Xiao's online invitation, she subconsciously clicked in. The next second, Wei Minmin's voice came from the earphones. Good evening, Sister 11. Good evening to you too, and good evening to the director. Good evening, Zioxi. After saying hello, Wei Xiao started busy connecting with other people. The audience in the live broadcast room also entertained themselves. It is not known in advance which actors will participate in the live broadcast. Now every time the director prepares to connect with one person, it is like opening a blind box, and many people even start betting. One anchor in the live broadcast room can be connected to up to 6 people at the same time. After a while, the 6 split screens on the left and right and the main screen in the middle were all full. After seeing the actors who had already appeared, the audience began to discuss the actors who did not participate in the live broadcast. As expected, there is no Queen Shi. It seems that there is something wrong with Queen Shi's face. Otherwise, it would be impossible for Empress Yuan Zhao to not show up in the first wave of publicity. There is no actor who plays Prime Minister Shen. There will be no follow-up promotions or appearances. We can only find out when the TV series is officially aired. The little princess I was looking forward to didn't come either. Do you look down on the new actors? Wei Xiao looked at the barrage floating on the screen and quickly explained. Shi Yinghao has indeed suffered from some minor health problems recently and has gone abroad to recuperate. She will probably not participate in subsequent promotions. The actor who plays Prime Minister Shen, he paused when he said this, and glanced at the split screen where Zhang Lingzi was. This teacher is a friendly actor. People are really busy at ordinary times, so they can only wait until the TV series. I won't see you again until the show airs, but don't worry, his performance as Prime Minister Shen will definitely exceed your expectations. Even I was amazed during the filming. There's also the actress who plays the little princess. This girl is really inconvenient, but if she doesn't have class right now, it's not necessarily that she's watching the live broadcast with you. I have a minor health condition, and Director Wei is very tactful. I couldn't imagine how amazing the role of Prime Minister Shen would be. I suggested that Director Wei let us meet the real person. I was lying on the bed in the school dormitory watching the live broadcast and extracted a key word from Wei Dao's words. If there were no classes, the little princess would still be a student, right? It's time to go to college. I want to know which school the little princess is from. I'll go. I didn't notice it. Thanks for the reminder. Is the little princess also watching the live broadcast now? Can you please let me know? Okay, Wei Xiao said, pretending to be angry, in response to the audience who were still rushing to make demands and suggestions. There are 7 of us, and we don't have enough to chat with you. Hey, isn't Pai Up happier? Okay, please tell me, Director Wei, where is the production of Empress Yuan Zhao now? Is there any chance it will be broadcast during the Chinese New Year? It's rare to see a serious topic. Wei Xiao quickly responded, currently editing is being stepped up, and the opening and ending credits and interludes are almost arranged as expected. It will be broadcast during the Spring Festival. I can rest assured that. If you have anything else you want to ask or know, I and the other creators will respond to you as long as it's reasonable. I just want to hear what interesting stories the crew had during filming. Does Zixi feel pressure to play the role of Empress Yuan Zhao? The actor who plays Qing Yuan always looks a bit familiar. Is the character of the heroine's classmate in the recently aired Three Treasures in the Family yours? Wei Min Min, if you want to talk about interesting things, there are so many. Don't look at the script. In the script, Emperor Yuan Zhao, played by Sister 11, almost brought up her little princess sister hand in hand, teaching her to write and draw. In fact, there were two people outside the camera. It's completely the other way around. Sister Anan, who plays the little princess, is a real academic, and she's pretty good at tutoring Sister 11 in her homework. And key information, top academics, you can focus on screening at schools like Beijing University of Science and Technology and BG. If you want to be an actor, shouldn't you go to a film and television acting school? What I am curious about is, why does the little princess want to tutor Zixi with her homework? Wei Minmin sat up and looked at Zhang Lingzi sitting on the split screen next door. Sister 11, can I say no? Zhang Lingzi nodded towards her. Sister 11 is preparing to take the college entrance examination again. The live broadcast room was quiet for a moment after these words. I suddenly remembered that Zixi was passing the college entrance examination, but something unexpected happened at home, so she stopped going to school and entered the entertainment industry. Do you still want to continue going to college? But it's always good to learn more, so just support this decision. Even though many young people in today's society often say they want to be ruined or life lad, there is still a good impression of those who are willing to make progress. The barrage suddenly flashed with words such as support and come on. Zhang Lingzi first responded thank you to these encouragements, and then began to answer the most frequently asked questions on the barrage. I didn't feel any pressure. Emperor Yuan Zhao is a character I like very much. I'm very happy to be able to play her. Of course she likes herself very much, there is nothing wrong with that. However, the sentence I don't feel pressure still caused some people's dissatisfaction. Isn't this a bit loud, Empress Yuan Zhao? Even if you are a movie queen, there will be pressure to act? Suddenly, my expectations for the role of Emperor Yuan Zhao have dropped. For such a powerful female figure in history, if she were played a little softer, her character would be ruined. Let's just say, can you be a little more modest? Wei Xiao coughed lightly while looking at the barrage. I can guarantee that Xiao 11 really didn't lie. She was always in a relaxed state when filming, and everyone knows that this character is well known for her strength, so the acting rather than closing in, I wanted the actors to let go and perform, and Xiao 11's interpretation was spot on. And I dare say that no one else would be better than her. Other actors connected also nodded towards the camera to express their agreement with this conclusion. The audience couldn't help but click their tongues. The crew is not monolithic, and it was revealed on the internet that some people who played intimate lovers on the show would fight for roles off-screen. To be able to be highly recognized by all the creative actors and the director, it only means that the Empress Yuan Zhao played by Zhang Lingzi has conquered the other actors in the crew. I can't wait to watch the drama, but when I think about it, it's almost 2 months until the Chinese New Year. It's so long. Director Wei, please show some more tidbits, let us satisfy our cravings first. It was Pei Zinyuan's turn to answer the barrage question. She nodded gracefully. I didn't expect this audience to recognize me through a character who only appeared for a few minutes. Thank you. To be honest, I was a member of the entertainment industry before. I can't even count the number of times I've acted as an actor, with corpse backdrops, etc. Qing Yuan in Empress Yuan Zhao is the first role I've played with a formal character introduction, and it's also the first time I've had a formal introduction to a director. I am honored to participate in the live broadcast with the teachers. I hope that my performance as Qing Yuan will be liked by you. Representative of hard work and luck. Pei Zinyuan, okay, remember this name. During my summer vacation, I also worked as an extra in a movie studio for a period of time. It was hard work. Your hard work has finally paid off. I hope you will get better and better and perform more memorable roles. Time slips away unknowingly during chat interactions. Zhang Lingzi licked her lips that were a little dry as she spoke, and soon there was a glass of water at the right temperature and a small fruit plate that could be picked up and eaten. No one paid much attention to the scene originally. After all, it is normal for actors to have assistants or something accompanying them during live broadcasts. But there are also sharp-eyed viewers who accidentally saw the figure reflected in the window next to it. There is a man. The one who just handed over the water and the fruit plate is a man. Visual estimation, 1.8 meters. I remember that assistant Zixi was a little girl about her age, right? The manager was also a woman? Then the question is, who is this man? Before Zhang Lingzi could take a bite of fruit, she looked at the sudden barrage and couldn't help but glance slightly at the man next to her who was about to leave. But Shen Yunqing might have misunderstood, the live broadcast is over. Listening to the deep and mesmerizing voice that suddenly appeared in the live broadcast room, the barrage suddenly cleared, and then he went completely crazy. Someone becomes a detective. Actually, I wanted to say this from the beginning in the photos taken at home that were posted under Zhang Lingzi's account, although not much can be seen in the background. The decoration style is obviously warm and bright. However, the background of this live broadcast is obviously different from the previous photos. It is very different, it is steady and elegant. The styles are so different that they cannot appear in the same house. There are also people who turn into screaming ducks. Who is that man? Do you have the ability to speak out and show your face? Zhang Lingzi, the live broadcast is still on. Shen Yunqing. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Her Majesty the Queen has become a god in the entertainment industry. Author, Press 11. Chapter 539. Let's get straight to the point. Zhang Lingzi, are you at your boyfriend's house? Tisk tisk, the hot search has just been removed. Are you guys impatient to live together? Zhang Lingzi, don't say anything, silence is acquiescence. In addition, changing the subject means you feel guilty. Seeing that the audience in the live broadcast room were all coming together like cats smelling a fishy smell, silence and changing the subject could not solve the problem now. Zhang Lingzi looked at the increasingly intensive barrage, and several other people on the split screen, who also looked like they wanted to eat melon but had to hold back. After calmly eating a piece of honeydew melon, she spoke calmly. He said, I'm really not at home right now. I admitted it, this woman actually admitted it. It's okay, I don't hide it and choke, it's refreshing enough, I like this kind of woman. Originally I came here to have a meal, but after the meal it was time for the live broadcast between the two, so I simply didn't leave. Cheating for a meal? Can I order a meal when I come to my boyfriend's house? It's almost 9 o'clock now. Do you plan to stay overnight tonight? I just want to see what that man looks like. I also want to see if it is the same as what I think. Zhang Lingzi also knew that her words alone could not match the nearly 10 million viewers in the live broadcast room, and she only glanced at the barrages flashing across the screen a few times. He raised the corner of his mouth and said, since you all want to know, let me tell you the truth. The person next to me is indeed the person I like, but there is no need to show up in the live broadcast room, he doesn't like it. And tonight's live broadcast is to promote Empress Yuan Zhao, I'm afraid that he will overshadow the show when he appears. As soon as he finished speaking, a colorful barrage flashed across. We've almost finished talking about the TV series. I'm just curious about this now. I won't be able to sleep tonight if I don't take a look at it. Zixi, can you bear it? I can't bear it, Zhang Lingzi said with a faint smile. Children who know how to respect other people's choices are good children. As for those friends who may have guessed who it is, we have a tacit understanding. Taking advantage of Zhang Lingzi's shock in the live broadcast room, Wei Xiao coughed twice to attract everyone's attention. There are only a few minutes left to connect to the live broadcast. You must keep pressing this issue if you don't want to give it away, then the benefits I prepared will not be given away. The audience doesn't have much confidence that they can see the person, so they can't get into the live broadcast room and dig them out. Coupled with John Lindsay's shock, even if she was still curious, she couldn't help showing timidity. At this moment, I saw that the director of health had given me some steps, so I quickly climbed down. Are there any benefits? What benefits? Originally, I thought that the number of viewers entering our live broadcast room would only be 1 million at most, but I didn't expect that it would be almost 10 million now. It seems that Director Wei does not have a clear understanding of the strength and reputation of you and your crew. The number of people in the live broadcast room is still increasing. Are you sure you can only broadcast for 1 hour? Let's discuss it. If we don't extend it by another hour, I think the number of viewers in the live broadcast room can increase to 20 million. I have set up a lottery. The quota is 100. You just need to reach out and click a few. The winning audience will fill in the address backstage and receive a gift made by one of us. We have 10 million, just 100 places. This probability, based on my luck all the time, should be just right. Wei Xiao touched his nose and said, after all, it is made by one's own hands. Rare things are more valuable. Well, okay, the lottery button is already out, you can click it. Although the number of winning places is only very small compared to the huge base of the live broadcast room, everyone has a heart of what if I am the one who wins the prize and can't wait to click on the lottery button after seeing it. John Lindsay saw that there were no more people trying to watch the barrage in the live broadcast room. While everyone was busy drawing the lottery, she hugged her fists towards the director without leaving any trace. Others may or may not have noticed that Director Wei's lottery was a temporary addition, but she saw it. Maybe it was meant to give back to the audience, but it did help her out. The lottery session is set up for a total of 30 seconds. Once 30 seconds are up, the lottery ends. Nearly 90% of the audience clicked on it. The winning results will be announced soon. Some people cheered and some sighed. I have received the winning number here. Please remember to fill in the receiving address in time. It will take some time to prepare the gifts, but they will definitely be sent out within a week. Okay, thank you for paying attention to Empress Yuan Zhao. It's time to go off the air. Good night everyone. John Lindsay and others also said good night to the camera, and then clicked the play button. Looking at the screen of the phone going black, he raised his hand and pinched the bridge of his nose. Then he took his phone and clicked on the chat interface with Wei Xiao, give me 50 places. There are 100 gifts in total. Wei Xiao himself is busy with the production of TV series, so he will definitely not have time to make gifts. Then only she and the other 5 live broadcasters are left to prepare. Others also took the blame for her. Wei Xiao was also very happy. Not long after she sent the message, the other party sent a form within 2 minutes. No more, no less, 50 places. John Lindsay clicked it and shook it in front of Shen Yunqing, who was sitting beside him. Shen Yunqing, who knew he was in the wrong, I can help. What gifts are you planning to prepare? John Lindsay raised her head and glanced at a landscape painting hanging on the wall next to her. Let's paint it. I'll paint it, and you'll be responsible for framing it. Okay. So, should you start painting now, or go to the collection room first? Stock room. Originally I planned to visit the collection room after I came over in the afternoon, but I got delayed due to something. After dinner, I started live broadcasting again, and I only had free time now. There is still about a week left to prepare the gifts, so there is no rush in this evening. So when the news from Tongyu came over, John Lindsay and Shen Yunqing were already in the collection room, so they didn't see the news. To be honest, John Lindsay has always been a little confused. As the owner of Z1, Shen Yunqing does not live in the main courtyard of Z1. But even though she was confused, She didn't ask any more questions. Maybe the main courtyard was sealed for some reason. Until tonight, she finally saw the true face of Lushan in the main courtyard of Z1. She was shocked when she opened the door and saw the scene inside. This is no collection room. It is clearly a house that suits her preferences no matter where it is. There are also the bows she used hanging on the wall, the intricately framed paintings, the glass dragon incense burner on the table, and, they are all familiar objects that are no longer familiar. After Zhang Lingzi wandered around, she turned to look at the person following her. She endured it again and again but still couldn't hold it back. I remember that you also have a profession in archaeology, right? Be honest, are you poaching me, tomb of clothes? End of chapter. Her Majesty the Queen has become a god in the entertainment industry. Author, Press 11. Chapter 540. Chapter 540, you can learn how to coax people without a teacher. Shen Yunqing also did some psychological preparation before bringing the people over. He also thought about how His Majesty would react when he saw these things. But I never thought that His Majesty's focus would be so unique. I brought these items into the palace to collect them. Zhang Lingzi had no doubts about this answer. Although being an emperor can say that you will have whatever you want, even if you don't have it, you can still ask your subordinates to rack their brains and make it for you. However, she is not the kind of picky character. As long as things can be used, there is no need to pursue perfection. But everyone has preferences. For something she particularly likes, her habit is to use it more often. For example, the bow she was used to, and the incense burner used to burn incense when writing, drawing, and reviewing memorials. She particularly liked it because she used it more often than other similar things. But only those close to him know this. Qing Yuan counts as one, and the person in front of her also counts as one. I thought Qing Yuan would organize all these things for me to keep with me. Before she could say the word burial, a hand was stretched out to cover her mouth. Zhang Lingzi lowered her eyes and followed the arm under her eyes to the man's tense profile. She pursed her lips and took off his hand. What can't be said about this? Shen Yunqing frowned. I don't want to hear it. Okay, then I won't say anything. Isn't it just compromising to coax people? Although she has never learned it, she is self-taught. I thought the glass dragon incense burner placed on the table was just an empty incense burner, but I opened it and saw that there was incense inside. What kind of fragrance is this? Cloud sandalwood. Shen Yunqing said, pulling out the hidden compartment under the table, taking out a box of matches, lighting them. You can use it? Zhang Lingzi cooperated and closed the lid of the incense burner. After a while, the faint scent of sandalwood began to spread. The scent of cloud sandalwood is light and warm. It is not used to refresh yourself or help you sleep, but it is very suitable for relaxing. Coupled with the fact that the weather is getting cooler now, the soft and warm aroma will undoubtedly complement each other even more. During the previous live broadcast, I faced tens of millions of viewers in the live broadcast room. I had to grab frequently asked questions from time to time and interact in a timely manner. In addition, there was an accident that Shen Yunqing spoke up in the live broadcast room. An hour later I was still a little tired after coming down. But now smelling this comfortable and relaxing fragrance, I feel a lot less tired for a while. Zhang Lingzi simply sat down on the large armchair next to her and lazily leaned back. I'm trying to be lazy. You can still rest next door. You can stay here if you don't want to go back. Zhang Lingzi. Is this deliberately trying to make her happy and forget about Shu? Asterisk. The consequence of not thinking about Shu was that she waited until she returned to the yard next door the next morning and got the mobile phone she had put on the table before going to the collection room last night, only to see the message Tong Yu had sent not long after the live broadcast last night. Ancestor, congratulations, you are on the hot search again. Where are the people? Forget it, I won't disturb you and Mr. Shen anymore, please reply to the message when you see it. Tomorrow I will take a promotional photo for Shan Yu Zhiheng's spokesperson. I can't put this off any longer. I also have dresses for attending international fashion festivals. As the spokesperson of Shan Yu Zhiheng, your first choice is her dress, and you have to try it on today. Should Zheng Zheng and Fang Yao pick you up from your place or go to Z1? Zhang Lingzi finished scrolling a bunch of messages and typed a reply, I will go directly to the Shanyu's Haiheng headquarters, and we will meet there. After successfully sending, exit the chat page, and then click on the hot search list. Biplicity by the creator's live broadcast hashtag ranked third. Zhang Lingzi's first response to love rumors hashtag is below, ranked fourth. There is a gap in the middle, and the sixth one is also related to the live broadcast last night. The lucky audience of the lucky draw in the live broadcast room hashtag. There are only 50 hot search lists in total, because the last live broadcast last night directly accounted for 3. Even Zhang Lingzi did not expect that there would be such a large discussion. As for the first one, it's hashtag wake up and go crazy hashtag. Zhang Lingzi raised her eyebrows and clicked on this first. At the top of the list are the photos and videos secretly taken by conscientious paparazzi. The single ward that was neat and clean yesterday has become a mess. But what was even more embarrassing was the person sitting on the hospital bed, with disheveled hair and a ferocious face. If it hadn't been for the introduction marked with a red arrow next to it, even Zhang Lingzi wouldn't have recognized that the person above was Su Qingmei. There is also a video of Su Qingmei struggling frantically while trying to get out of bed while being held down by a nurse. It only lasts a few seconds, but it has already caused many people to question her mental state. But suspicion is just suspicion. She can see that Su Qingmei is not crazy, but she is afraid that she cannot accept the reality she faces when she wakes up. After logging out and scrolling through 3 other hot search lists about her and Empress Yuan Zhao, Zhang Lingzi nodded to Shen Yunqing, who was standing in the restaurant and waving to her. She was about to put down her phone when she saw the tail of the hot search list. Another newly added topic appeared on the internet. Hashtag Shiman responded to her absence from the live broadcast promotion of Empress Yuan Zhao hashtag. She simply clicked on it, then clicked on the pinned video and walked towards the restaurant. The video shows an exotic scene with birds singing and flowers fragrant. There is sound coming from the video, but there are no people. Due to jet lag, I didn't know until I woke up that Director Wei had led everyone to start a live broadcast. I would like to thank all netizens for their concern. I am currently in good condition, but I have been living a casual life recently, which is a bit slovenly, so I won't show up for now. It just so happens. I want to take this opportunity to announce something. I am going to officially retire. Empress Yuan Zhao will be my last work. I hope you will support me when it starts airing. Goodbye. When I clicked on the comment section, all I saw was confusion. You just made a comeback and then stopped acting, what are you doing? I can only say that I am so willful. Am I the only one who is so frightened when I think about it that I don't even show my face? Am I really disfigured and have to take a rest? I always feel that Shi Yinghao's tone is a bit weak and she is pretending to be calm. If you have the same feeling as me after watching the video, please raise your hands. Zhang Lingzi was thoughtful after turning off the topic. She saw the problem with Shiman's face with her own eyes, and even found out that it was Luan Feng who had tampered with it. But how exactly Shiman provoked Luan Feng, or Yin Chong, probably even Shiman himself doesn't know. Now that Yin Chong, Luan Feng, and others have escaped, they have probably retreated back to Changkangmen, so there is little hope for Shiman's face to recover. There must be some unwillingness. But I can only grit my teeth and accept it. She reached out and took the porridge handed over by Shen Yunqing and took a sip. Changkangmen is dead but not dead. She has a premonition that one day she, Wu Hua, Yin Chong and others will face each other again. Let it be up to you whether the confusion can be clarified by then. Her relationship with Shiman was just average. What are your plans for today, or should you stay in the study and paint? Zhang Lingzi came back to his senses. Today I'm going to the Shanyu's Haiheng headquarters. You can ask Huza to see me off. End of this chapter.